We're here with Navy Captain Lirion Murtezi. Lirion, you may announce this week that you're hanging up the cleats. How difficult was that decision?
Yes, sir. It was a pretty difficult one. I knew it was coming before I posted it. I already knew for about a week. I just didn't post anything yet. So I've had some time to process it. It definitely sucks, but not what I wanted for especially senior year, not the way I wanted to go out. But after talking to medical professionals and everyone else, it's in my best interest to do so. So I'm just kind of going in with my new role now and just helping around coach and kind of helping the team in any way that I can.
So why don't you tell us what happened against Notre Dame? I understand it's a back injury. We don't need to do any further than that. But what happened against Notre Dame that led to this? Because you were fine. You started the game. What happened?
Yes, sir. So I've been dealing with a back injury since probably spring ball. And then every time I'd hit really hard, I just kind of shoot down my back. My legs would go numb. So after talking to professionals, I was basically one hard hit from doing some serious damage to myself. So talked to Doc, let him know my symptoms, and that's when I was told that I needed to stop.
But you played in the Notre Dame game, and it was something in that game that led to this?
Yes, sir. Just a few hits in that game led to the symptoms that I had, as I previously mentioned.
Right.
Just the nerves shooting down my back and other symptoms that I had along with that. But I still played through the game. Probably wasn't a smart choice, but I finished the game. And then I talked to Doc after that following week.
So, in terms of your career, I mean, it's obviously short-circuited. You figured you had an entire senior year to make more memories, a lot of games, etc. Army, Navy, there's so many things. Is that the hardest part, that you didn't get to see it to the end?
It definitely sucks, but I still get to see the end. I'm still part of this team. I still get to lead these guys every day. I still get to be out here every single day with them, so I still get to experience everything. I'm just physically not out there on the field doing it. But it's God's plan, this is how it's written. So I'm not, whatever happened. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with how it ended. It definitely sucks, but I still get to experience my whole senior year with my brothers every day, and I get to be out here with them every single day. So I'm still enjoying this journey.
As far as the on-field career, on playing, any favorite memories as you look back upon it?
I'd definitely say playing at Notre Dame was really cool. My sophomore year, getting a start against Notre Dame at Notre Dame was a cool experience. This year going out to Ireland was another cool experience against Notre Dame. Army Navy is always special. All the academy games, I'd say, are always special ones, but I definitely cherished every single moment that I had on the field.
So what do you want to do here the rest? I mean, you're a student coach, you're still a captain, you're going to fulfill your captain roles, you're going to travel the team. What do you want to do? What are kind of the goals you have for yourself for the rest of this season?
It's kind of help in any way that I can. So I'm still doing everything as far as meetings and all that other stuff with the guys. I'm still in there every single day with them. Like I said, the only thing I'm really not doing is just kind of being out there. So I think I get a new perspective as far as on the coaching side, looking at all the small little details that I can help coach, especially in the younger guys. I've kind of taken a lot of the younger guys under my role. I feel like the older guys kind of know what they're doing. So some of the younger guys that are working up with us and traveling with us, I'm really working a lot with them and just trying to give them all the tips that I know and that I've learned over my time here, and just kind of help them any way that I can, and kind of just leave a good, I'd say, culture behind after I'm done here.
Do you feel like you in particular need to mentor your Justin Self as the replacement at center?
Yeah, Brent. Justin.
Justin was his older brother.
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
But yeah, definitely. Yes, sir. Definitely. Brent's awesome. He's traveled with us for the past few years. He has a lot of game experience, but he was always ready. He's one of the kids that you just look at him in practice, he's always prepared. He always takes pride in everything that he does out here. So I think that step from him just going to the game and being a starter wasn't a big one, just because the way he prepares himself. But I definitely give him a lot of tips in any way that I can, or from past games. We still play a lot of the opponents that I've played against that we play this year. So just giving him tips against different defenses that they're going to line up, what they tend to do, what they like to do. Definitely trying to give him all the tips that I can.
So part of this is when you're at the Naval Academy, the future is so much bigger, and you've got a career in the Navy. Is that a lot that what goes into this situation? When you're talking about maybe at another school, you're not as worried about long term, but here you have a job to do. Is that a factor?
It really wasn't a factor, to be honest with you. It was a very serious injury. So even if I was at a different school, I'm sure it would have been the same outcome.
Right.
But like you said, here it's definitely something to look at, just because that's what you're going to be doing in the future, working with the Navy sailors or in the Marine with the Marine Corps. So it's definitely a little bit of a factor. But I mean, with the injury I sustained, I think even if I was at another school, it would have been the same outcome.
What would you like to do within service? I know you haven't gotten to service selection yet, but
Yes, sir.
What is kind of your thoughts?
So I put in for information warfare community. So I'd like to either go as intelligence officer, or I'd go in cryptologic warfare, or information professional. So intel is just kind of sitting back, just kind of getting a bunch of information and kind of handling it to different squadrons and kind of let them do their mission. The other two, CW, cryptologic warfare, and information professional, is just kind of decoding stuff, just sitting back and just kind of doing a lot of decoding and stuff like that. So whatever I get, I put in. We find out Thanksgiving time. Whatever I get, I'll be happy with.
So can you kind of talk about, I mean, in the end, this was an amazing journey for you from Kosovo to the Naval Academy. Can you kind of just summarize that?
It's definitely awesome. Football, it was just to think about where I came and all the opportunities this sport has given me to come here is truly awesome. Like you said, I mean, I came from a war-torn Kosovo to be able to come to the #1 institution in the world. You know, it's truly amazing. And then, I still got a lot of life ahead of me. So it sucks that my football season had to end the way it did, but I still got a lot of life in me, and I think I'll be able to do some amazing things and have some great opportunities in the future.
So you were chosen to wear the number 68 in honor of David Forney, and I'll go talk to Coach Ingram about this, but I'll ask you your opinion. Would you like to put that jersey on someone else for the rest of the season, or what's the thoughts there?
I haven't talked to anyone. I mean, I think it'd be cool to possibly give it to someone else if they would take it. But you know, it sucks that I couldn't represent him the way I would have liked to, being on the field. You know, Dave was probably one of the best players we've ever had here. He emphasized everything a Navy midshipman is. Midshipman is both on and off the field. You know, he was an example for all of us. I really haven't talked to Coach about that or anyone, but I think if it's an option, I think it'd be a cool one. But I think we'll see what we do.
Ashley, obviously we're talking about Lirion Murtezi. He announced this week that he's hanging up the cleats. He had to retire earlier than he would have liked. Is that a tough situation for you? And I know you've gone through it many a time, especially with offensive linemen. They take a brutal beating in there over the course of 4 years, but it's never easy when a guy's career is curtailed.
No, it's tough, and obviously I feel for him that obviously he didn't get to finish the season. He didn't get to play in the Air Force game. He didn't get to play in the Army game. That he doesn't get to, he's a captain of the football team. He just didn't get to finish this season. So my biggest concern was for him. Obviously, I sat in on the meetings when the doctor spoke to him. There was really no option available to us. So obviously his well-being and safety long-term is our first and foremost concern. As a coach, you always try to prepare for these things. So you got to have a next guy up and next guy ready. And obviously we've gotten a little better at this than we would like to have over the last few years. We've had a lot of injuries. So as a coach, you just move forward, but your heart goes out to Lirion and his situation.
So how would you summarize his career? He was just telling me that he started against Notre Dame as a sophomore in South Bend. He played a lot during his sophomore and junior years, contributed. How would you summarize his career? I know it's abbreviated.
I think he had a good career. I think he did everything he could on, with the situation and the hand that was dealt. Obviously, he tore his ACL as a sophomore as well, and then played a lot for us last year and was starting as a sophomore, and then, played a few games for us this year. So for everything that he could do, I think he can rest easy, and I think he can sleep well at night knowing that he did his part and he played well. And unfortunately, he had some injuries and all those things were out of his control. Nothing that he could do. And, I think he had a good career.
So you talked about the next man up mentality. Brent Self is a guy that's you've been grooming as a backup center, but now he's thrust into a more prominent role. He's a different player than Lirion. He's not as big.
Right.
How's Brent going to do?
Well, he played against Wagner played well, and he played against Memphis last week, and it's as well as we've played, in a little while. So obviously we need to play a little better to win, but I thought he played well. He is smart. He's a good football player. He's got some savvy about him. He's been in the program. He went to Naps. Now he's a junior here, so 4 years in the program. I think he's going to do well.
What about behind him? Because that Self has experience. You felt like he's seen enough of him that he could get the job done. But
right
behind him, you're talking about young guys with virtually no game experience, if any.
Yeah, so we got Mike Petroff, who is a senior.
Okay, you shifted him over.
He came over from defense, about a year ago. So he knows how to play college football. He's been in the program. He's a tough kid. He's athletic. So he's doing well.
Was he a center? I thought he was a guard or a tackle.
He came over as a center, and we've just kind of cross-trained him. So he did train at both of those spots as well. He knows the offense. So he's back to being a center full-time.
Okay.
Yep. And then we have 2 freshmen, 2 plebes. Hoke Smith, who's got some game time already. He's playing guard and center, and is doing a nice job. And, for where he is in his progression of his career, I think he's doing really well. And then we've got Cameron Smith, who's another very talented young man that we moved from guard, and he is exclusively a center now. So we're making contingency plans, as we go for if we have an injury there and we have to have a backup there. So we've got 3 or 4 guys ready to roll.
So Lirion's going to, try to help and fulfill his captain role as a student coach. Do you feel that that's valuable to have a guy that's helping out in that manner? I mean, you've already got 2 offensive line coaches with you and Coach Chestnut. I mean, is there a need or use for Lirion to do that role?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, he's been in the program for a long time, so he knows what we're doing. And then I think more importantly than anything, he was selected by his teammates to be a captain.
Right.
So I think he has respect among his peers. He's not obviously designing the schemes. He's not in charge, but another set of eyes. And another set of eyes that the guys respect, I think, is very valuable.
So this is something that occurred to me, and I don't know if it's something that's come up yet, but he was chosen to wear the number 68 in honor of David Forney. He cannot be on the field wearing 68. Is there a thought, or will you put some thought moving forward into possibly putting 68 on the back of another player?
It has crossed my mind, but I don't know if it's gone any further than that.
Okay.
So I have thought about it for sure. I have not had that conversation. One with Rick Forney and the Forney family. I haven't spoken to Coach Newberry about that either, or Lirion or other guys and how they would feel about that. But it has crossed my mind.